So here's my lovely puppies, my pitties. Down here at this lake. The lake. It's just a beautiful lake. I see that moon over there. Yep, that moon. That moon over there. Looked like a ghost over there. Yeah. So, no, you cannot get in the water. No, you cannot. So yeah, I try to break things down to where, it's digestible for people who have a hard time, visualizing, certain concepts. I try. But sometimes it's just exhausting. What are you eating? What are you eating? Oh my God. This one here, she chews on everything. Everything goes in her mouth. Just like any baby. Just like any baby. I need to put her license on since she's fully vaccinated. But we're finally in the 70s. We dropped down into the 50s. Shit, last night. Hold on. Okay, we went for a little walk. Sun is getting ready to set. But I didn't want to stay out here. I didn't. I wanted to ride. So even though I haven't been feeling too well and I've been out of breath, fortunately, my dogs, they're understanding and, they at least have, a backyard that they can get into. Okay? At least. So they can go in and out of the house, into the yard, and back into the house. Now, it's going to be nice when they can do that and go to the bathroom. That will be nice. But I'm still using pads and stuff for Gracie. I mean, she could be outside and she'll come inside just to go to the bathroom. It's like, what? What? Yeah. So hopefully it's a learning process. She seems like even though she may not understand, she has a tendency to feel. She'll feel when people are, pleased about the things. Look at that poodle. Oh my God. Woo. That poodle was beautiful. Look at that golden retriever. That's another beautiful dog. Beautiful dog. Just beautiful dogs all over the place. She's very emotional, like I said, very emotional. And whatever makes her feel good, she just gung-ho, right? And if she feels people over there feeling good, she's gung-ho to get right in the middle of it. It's just like, what? Which is kind of a trip because me and Snoopy, we're kind of older, right? And, we enjoy, like a peaceful walk, right? And she's all like rambunctious and riled up and full of energy, and I guess she thinks that we don't enjoy, having a peaceful walk out there, and she's like, let's talk to the passerbys, let's, wrestle, let's, and we're like, listen, grasshopper. We ain't trying to, dampen your parade, but we just not feeling it like that. We're old. So that's something else that we have to understand when it comes to like spirituality. The spirituality, has different developmental stages. And we like to believe, we want to believe that age ain't nothing but a number, right? And, sometimes it is a frame of mind, but other times it isn't always mind over matter, that sometimes matter comes before, what our minds are telling us what we want to do, right? Like with my glasses on and everything, I could trick my mind and other people's mind into believing, that I'm not damn near 65 years old. Right? However, realistically, some people who are 65 years old, they seem a lot older. Also, you can seem younger, but you can also seem older. A lot of times it's how you live your life. A lot of times it's if you've lived a structured life where you had a healthy diet, you exercise regularly, and you didn't do the things that brought stress upon your life. The things that brought stress upon your life could be drugs, alcohol, and like they were saying that sometimes alcohol is a good thing. I was watching this lady, make these extracts, right? She was making some vanilla extract, almond extract, orange and lemon extract, and cinnamon extract, and peppermint extract, and all of those extracts was made with alcohol, right? Some form of alcohol, vodka, whiskey, rum, yeah. certain tinctures, they're made with alcohol. So we can't just outright say alcohol is horrible, because it's not. It just depends on how you're using it. Ooh, 71 degrees already. I'm telling you, 71 at this point, it almost feels cold, because we've been used to being in the 80s and 90s for so long. So anyway, I'm glad I got out today. Feeling a little bit better. I've only had a couple of times of gagging on my own mucus, which is weird to me. How do you just gag on your own mucus? I mean, literally gag to the point of asphyxiation, because your sinuses and your throat are so congested that you literally can't get air. I don't understand it. And I really don't understand it, how this happened even in warm temperature. Because like I said, we've been having very warm temperatures. And just recently, the last couple of days, our temperature has gotten to be cooler. Just recently. I love riding through here. This reminds me when I used to ride around Lake Washington. Yes, it does. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Beautiful sunset. That's why I ride. That's why I come down here. That's why I ride down here. This is beautiful. Makes me feel beautiful. Now I got somebody behind me. Gotta keep going. But that's a little sunshine for you people who might be suffering a storm right now. Because, there are people really suffering right now. Hurricane Melissa was no joke. Melissa was hurting folks. Yes, she was. She was hurting folks. And to be honest, a lot of people who were on the islands and stuff, they didn't quite suffer the pandemic the same way we did. They really didn't, And I know if you were like me and you seen some of them doing their videos, it did seem like, they was making fun of the Westerners, And, because they were always having this fresh, organic food. And, and yeah, they had some flooding. They did. They had some flooding here and there, but it wasn't like what was going on with us. What was going on with us was, the whole logistics, of commerce, that had made, these delivery companies essential workers. Because delivery companies wasn't considered to be essential workers unless you was the post office. Okay? So yeah, one of the things that I was thinking about was, okay, even if I was to go and start sewing some things, right? It just seems like they have made our society into such an impoverished society that, the only thing that you can truly wear nowadays is t-shirts, sweats, and athletic gear, or jeans. And that to me is just like the type of clothes that I just hate to wear. I really do. I hate wearing jeans. To me, jeans is a symbol of labor. And I don't understand how all of these people wearing jeans and they don't want to work, right? They were running around here wearing jeans all day and all night, and they don't want to work. So, I don't know. To me, that don't make any sense. But today I was kind of at odds with myself, saying, okay, not only do you have to use some therapy to get back into being mobile again, but you're going to have to force yourself to get out again, right? Because I really, you have to force yourself to get out nowadays, because it just seems like every time you go out, you're spending money. And, what is this? What that is? Anyway. So it looks like we're getting ready to come up on a full moon, or we just had a full moon, something like that. got some crazy people behind me. They just left the ballpark and now they're in a rush. And they're trying to rush everybody else. Like, hurry up. Like, yeah, the light is red. Those are the people that I wish would do more walking, because I hate their road rage. Their road rage just gets on my nerves. Makes you want to just jump out your car and go and slap the shit out of them. Just bitch slap them so they fall out on the ground and see birds. You know, like those cartoons where you bitch slap somebody, they fall down and they're sitting there, you know, with the birds flying all around their head because, you know, they ain't got no fucking common sense. They'll be the people like, why you hit me? Like, why you tailgating me? Oh, look, a little Cadillac. A little crossover. So, yesterday, I made some of the best soup, right? Full of protein, right? And I made it with chicken legs, right? Those chicken legs that I had got on sale, and lentils, and put it in the pressure cooker, and oh my god, it was so good. I added 2 potatoes and 3 carrots and some soy meat. I'm telling you, I don't even know how much protein was in that soup, but I know it was a lot, because I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. You know, a lot of soup, you know, a lot of soup can taste and feel like they're just filling up your gut with water. But the lentils, you know, they just literally dissolved. Because I soaked them before putting them in the pressure cooker. And when I put them in the pressure cooker, they dissolved into a creamy sauce. And I was like, this is good. So I can't wait to make some more. I used red lentils this time. Maybe next time I'll use a different color of lentils. Yeah. But it was delicious. And since I made such a big pot, you know, of course, you know, I made a little bit of bone broth. I also, you know, save and soften bones with a bit of yeast. And and I did put away about a liter into the freezer for later, and I have like a pint in the refrigerator, so I can eat that later. And I'm thinking I'll have like a soup and sandwich, right? And it's really weird how, you know, rarely am I able to eat more than one meal a day. So it's like I'm only eating one meal a day. It's a big meal, but it's still just like one meal a day. There are times I do get a chance to eat more than one meal, but it's rare. It's rare. You know, or I might find myself, you know, eating breakfast at 2 o'clock in the morning because I woke up hungry. Hungry. So I can only suspect that there's a lot of people going through that also, right? Where maybe like myself, you know, they're drinking protein coffee. Right, you're drinking a couple of protein coffees and only one meal a day of real food. Thinking about going to go donate some blood for some money. Yeah, I am. Especially once I get past feeling sick. Go see if I can go donate some blood for some money. I know you think I'm joking, but I'm not. I was donating blood for money when I found out that there was something really wrong with me when they wouldn't accept my blood. They were like, no, we won't accept your blood anymore. I'm like, why not? You've been accepting my blood. Well, you know, and that's when they found out, you know, that my blood was tainted with some type of disease. They told me I need to go get myself checked out. And that's how I found out that, you know, I had cancer. That's how I found out I had cancer. But yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe I can, since I can't afford medical, maybe I can get well enough to go see if they'll accept me at CSL or something like that, one of those blood donation places, and then you know, determine whether my health is at least well enough to donate blood and get paid for it. I don't remember how much they was paying back then, but there was times that, you know, they was competing with blood donations that, you know, when you first start, like when you first start as a newcomer, you know, you were getting like $50 or $75 for the first 4 to 5 times or 3 times or something like that. I don't know what it is now, but imagination, trying to figure out, okay, if say we go into a dictatorship and we become like a socialist country, I can't figure out, how they would, start dividing up the resources and the assets. Okay? Because, there are so many people that have like more than enough. What the hell was that? More than enough. And then there are other people who don't have anything. They're living, just day to day. I was gonna say out of a suitcase, but some of them don't even have a suitcase. They might just have a plastic bag. And I watch, a lot of, videos about the homeless, especially the homeless in Arizona. Because it does seem like Arizona, has good weather, or weather that's, temperate enough, to sustain some people throughout, the cold weather seasons. Not the hot weather, because Arizona can get very, very hot. Okay. Take off the dark shades. And I was watching this one lady. Where was she? I think she was in Tucson. She was in Tucson, Arizona, right? And she was stating how, Tucson allows for free city bus rides within city districts. And I remember when I was growing up, Seattle had did the same thing. That, within the city limits, you could ride the bus for free. And I used to park right outside of the city limits and walk into the city limits just so that I can catch the free bus. So I'm gonna go in here. My pity is tearing up all of her toys, And now she's eating everything. I mean everything. Sticks, paintbrushes, anything plastic. She tried to eat one of my barbells, my 5-pound barbells. So I'm gonna go in here and see if I see something that, you know, I can help her to chew on. Since I got a little bit of change here. And she's doing okay on the training pads. And I can still give her, like, you know, chicken snacks. But, you know, I was noticing that the chew toys that I had got her are scattered because she's tore them up. She's tearing them up. And she's very strong. She's surprisingly very strong for such a young puppy. So, of course, I'm gonna go and get I think another chew toy, and then like a chew different things at $1.50 each. So that's what I think I'm gonna do. Either that, or I'm gonna get me some snacks. I don't have no snacks. We'll see. Not sure what I'm gonna do yet, but we'll see. But I am thinking that I need to get her I definitely need to get her some chews. Something to keep her busy. So that she don't go around here chewing up sponges and paper and cardboard boxes and paintbrushes and stuff like that, because that's how it's been. That is how it's been. baby. Okay. Hold on.